There are a few game publishers that I check out the games under their umbrella almost no matter what. Chucklefish is quickly becoming one of those, and today we're looking at the game Pathway, developed by Robotality. Pathway is a tactic style game, and if we were to liven up the language, we could say it's a strategic adventure game featuring turn based combat, unique story encounters, and endless replayability, all for about 15 bucks. Pathway takes influence from roguelikes and embraces a measure of procedural generation to populate the adventures you take on with random events, battles, items, and challenges that you won't see again in that configuration. You create a squad of characters from 16 unique options that you need to unlock throughout the game, all with their own quirks, equipment preferences, and strengths, and you set off to fight the Nazis, the undead, and these hellspawn dogs. Well, it's actually pretty bare bones in getting started. You start the game, then are given a choice between different campaigns, which act as the framework for your adventure. You can toggle some settings to make it harder or easier, select your party members, manage items and gear, but then you're set. And you're taken to this map connected by a series of nodes. There are a few static nodes, usually the beginning and end of a region, which relate to the story portion depending on the campaign you chose, but everything else in between is random. You travel the map almost like a board game, one move at a time, and each node has something different for you. There are shops and rest points and battles. Some of these require you to make choices with further random outcomes. Some of them almost have that RPG flair where if one of your characters has a specific trait, more choices are available, and not all the outcomes are generally good. When it comes to combat, you have a rather simple but intuitive grid-based strategy game. You enter into combat with primary and secondary weapon, usually a real gun and a melee weapon of sorts, and then armor. The type of weapon also gives you access to an ability tied to it, so wielding a shotgun lets you do a big frontal cone attack, a knife lets you apply a lingering bleed debuff, and your armor gives you a defensive ability option, increase your evasion for a round or a static damage reduction. So this isn't specifically coming from the character classes. It's also heavily reliant on positioning and cover, as well as weapons having bullets and needing to spend turns to reload your guns. A lot of people will say, oh, it's pixel art XCOM. And I guess they're right, but in case you've played it or play Pathway and really like it, Robotality has actually released another game like this, but changed the Indiana Jones vibe with sci-fi in the game Halfway. If you spend some time checking out some of the reviews for that game, many of the same pros and cons exist here as well. The game is punishing in a similar way as The Darkest Dungeon was. It is not uncommon to fail adventures, as you have limited provisions in the form of fuel for your Jeep to move around the map, as well as ammo for your guns alongside normal RPG consumables and ways to heal or repair your armor. This can lead you to failing a mission, almost just due to logistics. This isn't the end of the world because the game has a type of persistence between adventures. Your characters gain levels that allow you to choose bonuses to improve them. You keep the bigger and better gear you found, as well as additional provisions or cash to buy stuff in further runs, so don't sweat it if you die. You will. Something that caught me off guard was some of the events are like, oh no, the Jeep broke down. Others have quite a bit of text and depth to them. There are homages and terrible jokes littered throughout that made me smirk, and I'm currently in a I love pixel art kind of mood, and it's not the best, but it's really charming, it's very clear, and it somehow utilizes lighting and shadows with this style to really good effect. This setting also is really cool and hasn't been done enough, and because we haven't compared it to enough games, the loose adventure structure and the type of replayability reminds me a bit of Hand of Fate, which is a game that I adore. Usually, when it comes to these tactic-style games, they hit or miss. Pathway would hit if there was more to it. It's so comfortable and intuitive to play, with my main gripe being that I'd want it like 3 times as large, not just long, but just more stuff across the board, which is and isn't a criticism. Wanting more of something is always a good sign. I hate rating games, but because of its smaller scope, it caps the game at probably like a 7 out of 10, even if you like this style of game, which to be fair, for 15 bucks, isn't that bad. I think you could easily get 20 to 30 hours out of it. The biggest travesty here is that it is not on the Switch. This is the perfect type of game for the Switch. Why isn't this game on the Switch? In the best way possible, it's a simple yet well executed game that doesn't drag on long enough for you to get tired of it. I would recommend it for any fan of the genre, but that will do it for me. Until next time, this is Fever. Peace.